got Mark Philippoussis alongside me. Roger Rashid is courtside. Today's come well prepared. I see he's got his hat on. He's left the long pants at home. Got the shorts on. I'll get Roger's thoughts on conditions courtside right after this point.
Man, I can see Roger's calves from up here from the booth. They're huge.
Karatsev calves. Hey, Rog, give us a real feel for what it's like down there.
It's warm, there's no doubt about that. It's fast conditions as well. Rafa's going to get a lot of bounce off the ball here, and it'll be interesting to see if Mannarino can control the ball with this, as it's so lively.
Robbie, I just want to ask you guys, I know how fast the conditions are bouncing up high. Do you think that's also something that might help Mannarino a little bit today as far as how long he's played? That I know he doesn't have a lot in his strokes, but these conditions also help him a little bit too?
I would probably think no. I think he would like it lower in a strike zone. I think the best results, lower bouncing, fast court.
40.
You know, some of his best wins. I was just having a look at wins against lefties, Mark. You know, Beijing, fast hard court, doesn't bounce up. You know, like the old Supreme that you used to play on. I think the fact that he's won his only title on grass, again, low bouncing but quick. I think hard bouncing gets awkward for him.
It's one thing that he does so well. He's got beautiful footwork, and he does so well to move forward, kind of getting the ball early, so it doesn't get up as high as it normally does.
Yep.
I feel.
A fair point.
Also got to remember that, look, I think if Rafa normally generally likes to get that left-handed forehand up and high into the backhand side traditionally, this is a lefty, so he's now going to have to redirect that into the backhand side of his opponent. A little different for him. And in saying that, his forehand down the line when on is brutal.
Game Nadal.
Don't underestimate the flat ball striking from Mannarino as well off the forehand and backhand. As you said, Robbie, loose strings, but it gets a lot of value on this court. It's coming through low.
And look at the angle he gets on this, and look at the replay. No backswing, just a little boop, cross court.
I'll give it the sound effects there.
That's literally the sound of the strings that he made because they're so loose.
Is that what it's called, a boop?
Yeah, just that's what, you know. Hey, keep it clean, Roger, right? Don't make me come down there.
That's a person who's got young kids.
40 love.
You don't see it very often,
40,
boys.
15.
Mannarino on the first ball on that second court, he stands wide, really wide, quite extreme for a lefty. And then if he misses that first serve, he gets closer to the middle of the line, still with some width. Take a look at it next time he's in that pot spot. Trying to get that wide serve to really break away.
Cain.
It's just the start he would have wanted. Hold on to your first couple of serve games. Feel like you belong in the same court as Rafa. Not get overpowered. But Mark, I also want to ask you the feeling of when you play against somebody like Mannarino did previous round, Karatsev. It's a ball so hard, and you feel like you're rushed all the time. It's almost like the next match you play is, I'm not going to say easier, but you feel like you're used to pace, right?
Yes, and like Roger said, this is a different kind of pace. Karatsev is just an animal, like he said, just trying to get through you. The RPMs Rafa has on his shots, especially on this court right now with the balls, and to deal with that for best of 5 sets, I mean, that's going to be tough. Let's see how he does, but that's a different kind of animal coming at you.
And there's a difference between a fast ball coming towards you and a heavy ball coming towards you. Completely different when players say, gee, their ball is heavy. It means like it's pushing you back. Mannarino was able to absorb the speed from Karatsev.
Forged in steel, that shot. Uncle Tony often tells a story about that buggy whip forehand. If you haven't read Rafa's book, about when he was younger, playing with better players, hit the ball too hard for little Rafa. He had to abbreviate his swing in order to deal with the pace. And at first, Uncle Tony wasn't too happy with it, but then he saw how effective it was, so he left it. That's how that round the head forehand came to be. Carlos Moya. Just behind him, Carlos Costa, who's Rafa's agent. Rafael Maima alongside him. Nadal's physio has been with him pretty much his whole career, certainly as long as I can remember. He's added his good friend Mark Lopez to the coaching team. Won Olympic gold with Mark in doubles. Strikes from the Frenchman.
30 all.
It's just impressive the speed he does generate, even though the backswing doesn't change. Just, again, his strings are so loose, but he steps in so beautifully to his ground strokes. When he has to, he can create pace. Look at that. Very light in his toes, floating around. I think, God, he must weigh maybe 60 kilos the most, I feel. So light.
just 5'9".
14-13.
And in today's tennis standards, that's relatively short in stature.
My left side of my body weighs 60 kilos. Roger's left leg is probably 60 kilos.
Well, you're light these days, are you?
Cain, Nadal. Left.
He'll be disappointed with that, Rafa. He's looking at his team going, what was that? That sailed. Ball does move quickly through the air.
Yeah, testimony to that. A bit of fine-tuning early on from him just to get that ball flight right.
Oh, that's great play. Good moving by Mannarino, and I thought when I saw this chip he might be in trouble, but he handled it beautifully. Deep back up the line. That was nice hands.
And you've got to remember when you're volleying an oncoming slice flip, that ball naturally goes down off your string, so he made a great adjustment there. So often we see players miss that in the net. Sensational. C'est la vie.
What we're watching here is an extremely talented Frenchman, because when you can stand up to that ball and just caress it back and feel comfortable over and over again, it's someone who's got beautiful feel of string on ball.
Cain, Mannarino.
This has been impressive. Just the kind of infusion of confidence he would have needed. Shots. Well, there's somebody who's got some serious strength and endurance over 200 and 400 meters. Olympic gold medalist, current Olympic champion, 200 and 400 meter freestyle is Aryna Sabalenka. She's got pride of place there in Rafa's box. Appreciating the effort that he puts forth. Tough sport, swimming. Oh. Just looking down at that black line all day, every day, 6 hours. It's got a nice ring to it. Reigning Olympic champion.
That's a serve that Rafa has improved. I know he's always had that slider, but that flatter one.
Cain, Nadal.
And hence,
Love 15.
And Robbie, did he give this one a work? I mean, this was, I didn't think that was a bad serve, but what a return that was. And then he hit this forehand, jumping off the court. Mannarino can move, but man, he wasn't quick enough to get that one.
That one there spinning into the net, and there are times in matches where Rafa's heavy spinning ball over 3,000 RPMs, his location ends up being really short inside the service line, and he gets into, I wouldn't call it a funk, but into a rhythm of that, and that's when he's been generally exposed.
yes. Yeah. Spot on, Rog. Jocko especially. Just like that.
And to follow up from that, the only way you can be exposed is if your opponent is prepared to play on top of the baseline, which Mannarino is. So you know, he'll be looking for all those occasions, and if you can make an impact every time, see the ball quickly, use your legs, and just do what he just did there. That was a beauty.
Cain. Cain, Mannarino.
Honestly, gentlemen, I really didn't expect such a bright start from Mannarino, given all that he's been through over the last couple of days, how much energy he's had to put forth, how well Nadal has played in his last two matches. This is everything, and perhaps even more than what the Frenchman could have wanted.
Started like this as well in his last round, Robbie. Kept it very calm. Robbie and Mark, throughout my coaching, I've had a column which doesn't get talked about statistically anywhere, and it's called the emotional balance column for me. And I've observed everyone's emotions and how they do. How does the worm move? And for Mannarino, it's dead straight. He's there, he's calm, and he's present. It's a weapon.
Roger,
you know, I couldn't agree more, and it's the same when you see him walking around the lounge room, past the locker room. It's exactly the same. He's got the same walk, he's got the same look, nothing changes, right?
100%. It's a strong attribute in a game where the emotions are high and you're challenged mentally.
And Flip, knowing what you know now, well, I shouldn't preempt that, but how much did you work on the mental side of that game? Would you, knowing what you know now, would you work on it more? Or did you work on it quite a lot when you were playing your best tennis?
I played my best tennis when I was calm. If I was angry, and I could never play good tennis if I was angry or emotional. I definitely played my best tennis when I was relaxed, when I allowed myself to be free. I was pretty well, you know, I didn't lose it too much on the court. I think I can honestly say I was pretty good on the court.
Cain, Nadal. New balls, please.
Again, he'd be disappointed, Rafa, in the first 15 consecutive games when he's been up this end. He's definitely engaging the position of the returner serve where he wants to get that flighted heavy ball and challenge Mannarino to step in and do something. Hasn't worked for him.
Is that what you're talking about, Roger?
He just quietly caressed that, Mark.
I was thinking the same thing. I thought, man, if there's one thing he's got to be on top of, right, it's Mannarino's second serve, because right now he's serving 31%, so he's getting a lot of looks, but he's 100% from first serves and 73% on the second serves right now, Mannarino. I mean, they're impressive stats against Rafa.
Well, if you're 33% or roughly in the 30s, going into your fourth service game, you're generally a breakdown against the greats.
That's what's so impressive.
Yeah, and boys, just to give you an idea, over the course of his career,
13
against second serve return points won, Nadal's normally right up there. And right up there is 54%. So the fact that Mannarino's winning 73%, just testimony to how well he's defended that part of his game. And Nadal not making any inroads into it just yet. It's cheap. Again, I'm surprised after ripping one down the line with so much success, he's chosen to go cross court there.
Right, because Mannarino's just there for the forehand down the line. That's the thing for me, how Rafa hits the ball, how he prepares, how he makes contact with the ball, the RPMs he has. Normally you would think going down the line on a second serve, on the returns, low percentage. Not the way he hits the ball.
And given where he's hitting it from, it's almost like a cross-court shot, isn't it, Mark?
With that lefty sliding out? Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a fabulous serve, setting up the point magnificently.
4 games on.
So he's done the groundwork as Mannarino, but he does have a little bit of a reputation of getting tight. This is what I'm here for now, 4-all onwards.
Well, he didn't blink a couple of nights ago. That's when he played his best tennis through the pressure moments of the tennis match. He's got a different opposition, but on the other hand, he doesn't have anything to lose. And I think 2 nights ago, there was a bit more on the line for him. He believed he could win that match. Not sure about today. Not yet, anyway.
15 left.
And Roger, to give himself a good chance, the first set right now, it's huge as far as momentum for him.
It's the only set, in my opinion, when you're playing these grades. they're statistically, Robbie, you'll be able to find this out for me. But Rafa's about, must be 92 to 95, somewhere in there.
Yes.
Percentiles of winning once he wins the first set.
Yep, spot on.
Yet to serve over 200 Ks, Robbie, on the first serve.
Correct. Fastest has been 198.
Interesting. He's been popping it pretty. He's been having a go at his first serve in the matches leading up to this, especially in these conditions.
Just getting back to your point, I just had a look at the hard court majors here in the US Open throughout the course of Nadal's career. When he's won the opening set, Rog, he's 116 wins, just 4 losses.
What I love about Mannarino as well, especially when you're courtside, it doesn't overhit the ball. It's about timing and positioning for him. Body positioning and ball placement.
Oh, that is right out of the blueprint. Yeah, Paul-Henri Mathieu likes it. I mean, you can't even see Nadal in the camera shot. That's how wide he is. Boink.
Not only does it look like he's not working hard in his points, it's just the way he hits the ball. He's always in balance. He's never off balance. He's always in control. Like Roger, like you said, he looks like he's playing within himself. And that's what's been so impressive today. Hasn't tried to do anything special or kind of do more than what he can. He knows what he's good at, and he does it incredibly well.
5 games on.
And when we normally look at these matchups, we generally comment on, okay, to be honest, the opponent's going to have to step out of their shoes and play big. They're going to have to redline. Right now, he got an early start. He leveled the scoreboard. He can see that Rafa's not yet comfortable with his style of play, so there's no need to move off his line. It's all about his side of the court. He's staying in his lane.
Did he even take a backswing or follow through at that backhand winner? Held his ground, but look at this.
Scandalous there.
Oh, just turning the shoulders, unbelievable.
It's not like he's got a lot of time to react and hit it as well as he did.
I really like the way he sits back on the return to serve, Mannarino. He takes a split step and he blocks off that angle. That was a lefty. It was a beautiful serve, but he hit it almost a meter inside the baseline.
Let's also remember this is the trickiest side for Nadal to serve. He's actually now currently with a lefty. They're both lefties serving into the sun. So the ball coming back at him flat is tricky because you sometimes need a little bit of time. You're like a camera lens. It's the first ball that Mannarino's laid off on. Pulled up on the shot. Don't play the scoreboard. It's not always that easy.
Wow, did he pull the trigger on that? That one just missing. Oh, hang on a minute. That must be the serve. What happened there? Oh, was that in?
I think it's the wrong picture, to be honest.
So the score graphic is suggesting it was just out. Must have been. We saw close call.
Hey guys, another thing for me, we know how unique he is. Normally you play an opponent, the coach or the player is already looking for someone to practice with the next day that plays similar to him, or if he's lefty. Roger, if you're coaching someone, who are you going to find that could play anything like Mannarino? No one.
No, not at the moment on the tour. There's no doubt about that.
You just got to love the off-the-ball movement, don't you?
And it's a great play as well, because when he does lay off this forehand here, it stays low. Rafa's generally probably going to look to take one hand off the racket. Mannarino can volley.
First break point of the match for either player. He plays the psychology game so well, does Nadal. As soon as he wins that point, it's a big C. Making sure that Mannarino can hear it. couple of meaningful first serves to the ad.
15 left.
And of course, Mark, you've got to be fair to both players, though, right? You don't want to give Nadal extra time.
100%.
So
Everyone's got the same rules, without a doubt.
It's the balancing act that James Kiothavo has to try and get right.
And there's that shot again. Are we calling it cross-court or down? That was a cross-court down the line forehand, wasn't it?
15 all.
You're not wrong about that, Robbie. Look where he hit this from.
I mean, that's as close to going around the net post as you'll get for a return or serve. You don't see that too often.
Man.
Rafa.
Rafa hasn't been able to get ahead of the count on serve of Mannarino and create any real tension on serve, has he? Hasn't won the first point, I don't think, that maybe for the whole match. Or been able to get to that 15-30 stage. Great job by the Frenchman.
I'm just really, we're not there yet, guys, but I'm just really interested thinking about this tiebreaker, how they're going to play it. I'm sure they're not going to do too much differently, but if Mannarino is going to be a touch more aggressive and pull the trigger, or just keep absorbing and defending.
He's certainly got a spring in his step, and understandably so.
6 games off. Tiebreaker.
They've played 4 sets, and he's only ever been able to take it to a tiebreaker on one of those sets that they played. That was the first time in Beijing. And again, conditions there would have been quick. That would have given him a decent shot.
Rafa, unforced errors, Robbie, they seem high from here. I feel a bit uncomfortable with this unforced error count.
There's 10. 10 for Rafa, 9 for Mannarino. And the other thing too, Mannarino's numbers on the serves are better than Rafa's. 93% winning, 73 on the second serves. Rafa's 89 and 56 on the second serve.
Let's see if that changes in this tiebreak.
Well, he could not have played a better first point. I just love the way he hits those shots. He doesn't panic. You know, just almost like a little bunt behind the opponent, not overplaying it at all.
Ooh. 2-0, Mannarino.
I mean, if you're sensing anybody who's a little more nervous, you feel it's Rafa now. I mean, that was 130 kilometers now in the middle of the box, and I was lucky to make the net.
It definitely feels like that on the court here at the moment. It's advantage Frenchman for sure.
It's amazing, right? Because in my mind, Mannarino needs to win this tiebreaker. It's a must.
3-0.
But if I can say, even if Rafa loses this, I would still put money on Rafa. You know, the next three sets. But it's incredible the mindset going into this, just seeing Rafa, how you know, definitely more tense.
Big difference when Nadal makes that first serve. He's playing off the front foot, bringing that forehand into play, and we know that is a deadly combo. The serve plus the forehand. Rocket front and center. 3 times a champion here was Rod Laver. 62 and 69, of course, when he was able to complete the Grand Slam. I think he also won 1960, if memory serves. Fellow southpaw.
Wow, did he have some work on that one.
4-2. Mannarino.
And again, I think the fact that Adrian changes ends here with a 4-2 lead is massive in just growing his belief that he can win. Because, of course, guys, as you all well know, that in any honest accounting, training is the cake and belief is the icing. And sometimes that thin smear of frosting is what can make all the difference.
Thank you.
So good, isn't he, Rog?
Yeah, and what a different mindset straight away. The second serve stepped up on the baseline, so he had a proactive purpose on the ball on the return, and that really set things going. So there was a change up. Has not stepped up on the baseline on the second serve until that moment.
Some big serves to the ad side. We saw it in the previous game. We've seen it there now. To save a break point, close out the game with a good one.
Rafa served big, hasn't he, on the important points when he needed them?
5-4. Nadal.
I think what makes it even more impressive, Mark, is he's done it from a tough end. Looking straight into the sun.
Led for service.
comes again on that second serve return, up on the tight on the baseline.
In the pantheon of great shots, this one is right up there. Big-time player making big-time plays on big-time points. Dagger blow for the Frenchman. What a way to bring up 2 set points.
I don't know what I love better, that forehand, Robbie, or the fist pump at the end of it.
I mean, it's just been such a joy to watch over the last decade and a half, hasn't it, Flip?
And on top of that, how about the calmness in the serve of Mannarino to find his spot and throw the balls back to Rafa and say, okay, close it out.
Yeah, both given high value and good entertainment in the opening hour here. At the second set point is on Rafa's serve.
Talk about staying on the line, Roger. That forehand was on a line.
Yeah, it was. And look, this was short from Rafa. There's no doubt about that. And then Mannarino, who likes to cut the court, he steps inside. And that ball, you can see that just moves away from his opponent. Even though it was a short shot, the moment was so massive to execute, was all credit to him.
Yeah, well said, Rog.
Roger did call it, just as calm as he was, even on 4-6, focused on that first serve, put the balls over, and he goes, let's go. Nothing changing as far as his body language. Like I said, just another point for him.
Well, this has been a great set mentally from both players for different reasons. We expect it from Nadal. But Mannarino has asked him some great questions. He has been up to the task himself. The intensity, the urgency to get this one while it was still around the heart of the net is what makes that shot possible.
Let me tell you, that was harder than it looked. I mean, moving forward off a mishit, Mannarino was also going in that direction. Didn't have a lot of court to work with. He did great.
Exactly right. I was sitting there on the edge of my seat thinking, this is what's going to come off his racket. And that was beautifully played.
Ooh. I mean, that one sliding right in the slot of his forehand. Very uncharacteristic from Rafa to not taking advantage of a situation like that.
I mean, Mark, I'm just looking at the direction of that return, and for me, it wasn't It wasn't anywhere. It wasn't neither down the line or cross court. Nadal had no idea where that backhand was going, did he?
I mean, incredible. That thing bounced just before the service line. I'm not sure if he didn't think it was going over the net, but just he's got caught as far as his feet.
He held off. He was waiting back deep. You can see just before the Melbourne sign, thinking Mannarino was going to penetrate. He actually did the opposite. He played into that short part of the court. Mannarino has a very, very high tennis IQ.
It's a first set point for Adrian. And I tell you what, boys, I think that might be the biggest second serve that Nadal has hit in this set so far at 169. He's just caught out the Frenchman, rushed him into making the error. What a battle this opening set has been. 66 minutes in the making.
I wonder if Mannarino is going to go for the wide one again. He's been loving that one on the advantage side.
Standing a bit wider.
What didn't this point have?
I've never seen Nadal hit that many consecutive chips. Forehand, backhand, whatever it was. And a forehand that licks the very edge of the line.
I was loving those chips he was doing. I was loving the change of pace. But just, my gosh, again, Mannarino just under such intense situation, a point, just staying so relaxed and handling no matter what Nadal threw at him, he was handling. Unbelievable. Roger, did he step into that or what?
That was awesome. What about that response as well from Rafa? Very clear in his mind, I'm going to step up on the court, and has not hit a backhand return down the line at all for the whole match. That's why they're the greats. They're prepared to own the moment.
And boy, has he done that well throughout the course of his career. What a fascinating first set this has been, and he's had to dig deep into his manual of masterpieces. Here has Rafa. A 5th set point.
I mean, you're kidding me. That 161 heavy second serve steps in a meter inside the baseline, comes back at maybe 170. Look at the depth on this.
Right in the block hole. Torched that forehand return.
There.
He definitely came off the ball there with, and that's what Rafa was trying to do on that previous point up the other end when he hit about 6 or 7 consecutive slice backhands, to see whether he could get one of those balls just to fall off the racket of Mannarino. Little pressure there. That was tension in his arm, wasn't swinging.
What about the get from Nadal on the forehand, the squash shot?
Off
to stay return in the rally, yes. Let's not forget about that for a second. Shades of the great Jeff Hunt back in the day. Well, this is why sport is the best form of reality TV. There's no scripts here, folks.
11-all.
I mean, what a time to hit that one down a tee. I can't remember the last time he hit the tee serve on the ad side. And 194, that's his fastest serve of the match. Actually, no, his fastest serve was 196, but man, what a time.
Yeah, close enough to it. It's more artistry from Adrian.
12-11.
Everyone thinks this shot here, the put away, is an easy ball, short ball. No, it's not. It's coming high. Think of the scoreline, 11-all in the tie break. You're playing Rafa, and you're just going to lay that off. He's playing big-time tennis, isn't he?
No kidding. No kidding.
I mean, calling his performance so far impressive is an understatement. I mean, it's blowing me away, the fact that we're still in this tiebreaker.
6 set points he saved. He's got a second one of his own.
Drop shot, I mean, I thought he was all over.
12-all.
It's the first time he played that drop shot in this set, I think.
That's a big gamble from Nadal. The ball was high.
Mannarino cannot believe it. Oh, he's stretching. That's interesting. I mean, I can understand, it's understandable too. I mean, talk about physical, where first set, it's 74 minutes and it's 12 all in the tiebreaker of the first set. And what, close to 40 degrees on the court, Roger?
Yeah, it's probably warm with the players, but how about the defense Rafa used in that point, just to stay alive time and time again, and then he almost gave it away. It was really like a young child going to the lolly shop when he was walking up to that drop shot Mannarino. Just didn't take the lollies with him.
He's trying to stay loose. Mannarino has played a lot of tennis last couple of days.
Mannarino.
Set point number 3 for the Frenchman, but it's the first on his own deal.
Robert, this tiebreaker has been going on for 24 minutes.
Wow.
Just the tiebreaker.
Hour and 16 minutes for the set so far. I mean, this guy he is so tough. It is beyond compare.
Both players doing nothing wrong on their set points. I mean, they just... the quality.
And I don't even think he really got that out of the middle of the racket, but he just sort of muscled and willed it there. What next?
Oh, gosh. Gutsy second serve, 157. Going after it down the tee.
I mean, Mark, how well has he defended that second serve in the set?
He's at 70%.
Phenomenal.
You know, 47% of first serves in. It's not a high percentage.
That's when you're going to have to rely on defending that second, right?
Look at what he's backing his serve up. He's got 90% on the first serve and 70 on the second serve. I haven't seen those numbers against Rafa when someone serving at 47%.
It's a fourth set point for Mannarino.
And just to give our listeners all around the globe a bit of an understanding around that, 70%. If your player has second serve, they can take care of that around 55%. In that range, they're generally looking after business on the scoreline.
He's a master tactician, isn't he? We often talk about the power, but the tennis IQ and the ability to change the tactics and take all the pace off with a chip.
It takes courage, doesn't it, Mark and Robbie? At 14-all in the tiebreaker, you know you can actually step up and accelerate the ball, but you're prepared to hit that chip over and over again and challenge your opponent to make the play.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Set point number 7.
Seventh heaven. A master stroke from Rafa.
Well, I've got the best ticket in the house, courtside. The one thing I'm going to be interested to see in here is how tight can the Mannarino game be. Limit the unforced errors, still play at a premium and challenge Rafa right now, because this is when Rafa generally, this first 5 or 10 minutes of a new set, he plays big.
Oh, that's too good.
Love touching.
I mean, look at this serve. This was not a bad shot at all. Thought in good position, but no, not good enough against Rafa. I mean, we know how good Rafa moves, guys, but my God, am I impressed with his movement. He's looking good.
Touching. Let's for service.
You know, I love that chip. It stays so low. To get there and get underneath this ball, so incredibly difficult. Not only have to worry about getting under it, but then if it's not quality, you're a sitting duck against Rafa there on the other side.
That's certainly the case in the scoreline here for Mannarino.
Oh, wow.
So often hear about coaches and players talking about a serve +1. And that's what they're talking about, the serve, and then the next shot you get to hit as the server. Guys like to use their forehand, try and dominate the point, just like that.
Love.
let's also look for Rafa's forehand and see whether that gets a little bit more consistency about it during that first set. A lot of short activity. Let's see whether his depth and his heaviness changes now that he's a little looser. He's got one set in the pocket.
It's amazing, guys. I mean, that, you know, what can you say after the set we just saw, you know, as far as the intensity is concerned, but Rafa just has not changed, right? The intensity is still there. He's 30 love up, a break up, double faulted. He's upset at himself. He wants to keep that foot down.
14-15. Cain, Nadal. Nadal leads by 2 games to love.
Well, that lady in the light green cap certainly knows what it's like to deal with pressure. Ariana Titmus sitting in Nadal's box, of course. An Aussie legend in the swimming pool, 200 and 400 meter freestyle Olympic champion. What a treat it must be for her.
And the greats of the sport, I think, if they have friends that come and watch them, like we see the gold medalist.
She is.
They love it. They want to put the show on. I need to impress them. I need to give them something to walk away with and say, wow, that was cool. I remember Leighton used to love knowing who was in the crowd, the sporting celebrities.
Man, has he hit that shot well today?
What about you, Flip? Did you notice who was in the crowd? And
no, I never looked at my box at all, to be honest. I pumped up now and again, like huge moment. I'd pump my fist, but not really. Just at the very end, just you know, just put the fist towards the my box, but no.
Yeah, there's a couple of famous faces in the crowd today, Rog. Obviously, we've seen Rod Laver, Neil Fraser, Frank Sedgman. We've mentioned Ariana.
Australian
Eddie
legends.
Betts. Do you know Eddie Betts?
Eddie Betts?
Yeah, AFL player.
I know Eddie very well. Superstar. What a talent.
What does Eddie play for, Robbie? Roger?
Plays for... Well, he was playing for Carlton. He's now a development coach down at Collingwood.
Okay. Oh, again. Hello.
This is a different type of ball. Hopefully we'll see the replay. Rafa, it stayed low on him, and Rafa just flattened this out.
These are the shots that I see Rafa, and I'm like, why doesn't he pull the trigger more? Yeah, because he's so capable of doing that.
And I think for many people who have seen Rafa on the practice court as well as the match court, they would notice that on the practice court, he hits the ball 20% harder than what he does out here.
Oh, 20, try almost 100. Like, he rips it. I couldn't believe how hard he hits it in practice.
So what you see here, folks, is Nadal playing within himself all the time, for the most part. For the most part.
I remember in 2008 when I started coaching Go on threes, I said to Go, okay, so enough of practicing with everybody, the licorice all sorts. No disrespect, but we're going to start practicing with the best players in the world. So our first sessions with Rafa, and I said, be ready. He said, what do you mean, Roger? I said, be ready. This is bigger than a match. First ball, it's on. It was an outstanding session. I couldn't stop smiling.
Lovely. Good story.
Was Rafa just teeing off in the practice court?
Yeah, but Gale can throw some back.
Oh, of course he can.
He's got some weight.
You know.
And then let me fast forward about 3 months at Indian Wells. I said, okay, Gale, we're going again with, you know, we've had a lot of sessions, but this one's specific. You don't have a break first. You don't decide to have a break first. Anyway, they practiced for about 35 minutes without a break.
With Rafa?
Yes.
Oh, he's up and running in set number 2.
15 left.
It's nice to see move up to that one, give it a rib.
15 all.
I think any half chances he has when he's got Nadal 6, 7 feet behind the base, come in, try and finish it off at the net.
Are you surprised they haven't reached 200 kilometres an hour, boys?
Yeah, 199 is his fastest serve so far. He's still warm. Give him time to warm up, Roger. He's still warming up.
Sorry, forgot.
Roger, you got a good view from there, but you can see Mannarino, and rightly so, just struggling right now from the back.
Yeah, and it's very obvious that he's now not crowding the baseline and trying to cut the ball off. He's buying himself a little bit of time, which is very much expected by standing a fraction further back. That opens up the ability for Rafa to spread the court, get more time on the ball. Hey, Robbie, what about some left-handed Frenchmen? We've got Mannarino, Henri Leconte, Guy Forget, all talented and quite dynamic with their ball striking.
Yeah. Absolutely. The Centauro count.
Probably.
It's 2.5 left-handers.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, no matter where you go in the era of tennis, and you think about a French tennis player, you're using the word flamboyant and talented, aren't you?
Yep.
My goodness.
And normally extremely charismatic, yes, but emotional on the tennis court. They show you what they feel. This is arguably the only one that I can...
Him and Santoro too. Santoro was the same.
Yeah, but yeah.
I got you there, Roger, didn't I? Look at you all quiet now.
No, I'm not sure. I don't know if I can buy the Santoro one. Robbie will be the decider on that one.
You think Santoro wasn't quiet? Hardly got a thing out of him.
Come on, Robbie. Don't sit on the fence. Step up.
I mean, Forget wasn't the most charismatic guy in the world, was he? But I think the most important point that both of you are making is that they expressed themselves so well with their tennis.
Actually, Robbie, the most important point I'm making is that I'm right and Roger's wrong. That's what I'm trying to say.
So dangerous off that backhand side.
Well, we're just seeing a bit of everything now because there's freedom in his arm. The ball's coming off quicker. It's got that flight. It's got the length, direction. It's all happening for Rafa right here in the opening.
There's not a lot of space to hit that passing shot into. And he has seen it since about the age of 14.
He's gone. I'm not sure if he's cramping or something. Roger, does it look like he's cramping on that one?
Look, I think there's a lot going on there, and definitely that may be a little bit of cramp, but we know he was feeling the abductor, the groin around that sort of region as well, so there's definitely he's playing with some duress at the moment.
Beautiful field.
15-14.
So basically what this means now is there'll be probably greater risk-taking.
Yeah, shortening up the points, right?
That was meant to be a statement backhand right there. Rafa just wanting to unload on this one.
That's a rare one. You don't really see Rafa miss-hit a ball like that.
Chance.
Love.
I think he's just calling for the trainer now, Mannarino.
Perhaps no surprises there.
Cain, Nadal. Nadal leads by 5 games to 1.
The intensity never drops. Nadal just keeps bringing it.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because if we look two sides of what makes tennis, and one's your ability of your shot play, your decision making, your skill set. The other one's the physicality part, which you own. And Rafa taps into both of those when he plays anybody. He challenges you, A, with the first part, but also enormously with the second part, the physicality of the game.
Yeah, Roger, so often we see in the Grand Slams, and especially, of course, at the French Open, but anytime Rafa's playing, let's just say, I mean, this was a crazy physical first set, but normally if it's 7-5, it's kind of like 3-1. You see that so often, guys hanging in there for a set and a half, and
he knows that. So he steps on the court knowing that that part of the game will turn up at some point. It'll be a factor.
Of course, both those two elements indelibly linked to, your mental state, right? Your skill set one, the physicality the other, but it all comes back to between the years. And if you're hurting mentally, that translates into you not feeling great physically. Less likely to fight. It's harder to fight when you're feeling down and thinking about the score, and you're thinking about the fact you've invested an hour and 21 minutes in the opening set and you've got nothing to show for it. Why, when you win the set, do you feel better? You've exerted the same amount of energy.
Cain, Mannarino.
Serving for a 2 sets to love lead is Nadal.
15 love.
Perfect start. And just on that change of ends, if you weren't with us, Mannarino calling for the trainer. There was a lot of head shaking going on. He wasn't feeling comfortable at all. Didn't seem to get too much treatment, no strapping, didn't seem to take any pills.
30 love.
I got a sneaky feeling the end might be nigh.
Let's for service.
And you've got to have a little bit of big picture thinking, don't you, in this? Because at the end of the day, for Rafa, if Rafa finishes his event and has a month off, it's not a problem. If Mannarino has some real issues and there potentially could create a tear or some long-term time on the sideline, that does really affect what his year looks like. So that will be going through his head at the moment.
Second sets, Nadal. 6 games to 2. Love 15. Love 13.
It's a bit like going to the bull ring, isn't it?
Let's for service.
And you start off and everybody's fresh and the ball's coming at you and the crowd are involved and there's a physical component and eventually there's nowhere to go. And it feels a little like that now here.
Nadal has squeezed his man into a very tight space. And he's just about to complete the deciding blow. 2 break points early on here in the third.
Nice one from Mannarino out wide there, the flat one. Definitely needs some cheap points. Really starting to struggle out there.
Juice.
Just doing his best to hang in. So he's just sensing it's just...
Advantage, Nadal.
He knew what he had to do. It was a lob. He was trying to react, but he's just legs. He just couldn't get him up there.
Juice.
Here's the French camp, Sébastien Grosjean in the blue. What a player he was. Paul-Henri Mathieu to the left, second row. Part of the French Tennis Federation. The coach just in front of them. Owen Torcho. Sébastien Grosjean now, the
Advantage, Nadal.
French Davis Cup captain. He's good and lucky. It's a horrible combo to come up against. He's trying to fight his way out of his corner.
Juice.
This is a last gasp effort.
the play.
He was that close, he nearly was on the same side. Take a look at this. All the real estate was over the top.
Cain, Nadal.
And just to follow up on that statement of yours, Roger, you know, one of the things we often hear is, oh, well, you should finish the match anyway. But my comeback to that is, well, if it's going to cause me more damage, no one's going to be paying my bills for the next 3 months if I have to sit out the sport.
Great point. Well, in this scenario, we do know that there's some issues attached, and you've got to come back from 2 sets to love up. So let's be realistic about that against who he's playing. If you were just waving the white flag in general play quite a few times during the year, then you do need to stick out the matches.
Some sick feel, hasn't he?
Love 14.
Well, I did not see this coming. Love 40. And man, has he played some beautiful points. Look at this field. Might be a step or two slower, but still got those beautiful hands.
Cain, Mannarino. One game on.
Well, didn't see that one coming.
Rafa's going straight back to work.
Love 15.
He lost some awesome points from Mannarino in the last game, but I think just Rafa uncharacteristically just lost his focus a little there, dropping the intensity in that last game.
Love 13.
Has any player in the sport ever been able to compartmentalize each and every point as well as Nadal does? As we take a quick look at the hours on court, you can see Marino's been putting it in seriously. I just get the feeling when I watch Nadal play, it doesn't matter how good or how bad the last point was, his ability to focus on the very next one and not worry about the outcome is, it's phenomenal.
How was that for a half volley?
15-14.
Moving forward while making contact.
Yeah, I'll probably give another lefty a shout out. Rick Leach, best half volley I ever played against. That guy's hands were ridiculous.
$30-14.
And kind of no backswing at all. Very similar as well, right, to Mannarino on the returner serve. Butting that thing at the toes, coming into the net.
Juice. Advantage, Nadal.
That's a
Juice.
Sixth ace of the match for Mannarino.
It looked like Nadal was even leaning that way. Flip still couldn't get a racket on the ball.
Had some serious angle on that. Shame he had that set up nicely, hitting the ball beautifully from the back, being aggressive, and got the short reply, just couldn't put it away. Oh, that serve again.
Juice.
Mannarino's just being annoying now, isn't he? And as you said, Rafa can just let go of the points. If there was probably someone else up the other end, they'd be getting a little just agitated, the fact that they're not sitting down at 3-love.
Advantage, Nadal. Love. $30-love.
14th ace for Rafa, first of the set. That's just so heavy. Roger, it looks from this angle, you can see a lot better. He's definitely flattening out his forehand the last couple of sets.
Yeah, it's just a heavy ball. I think when you get loose in the arm, as you know, Margaret, all of a sudden the ball's coming now faster off his racket. Plus, got the revolutions mixed in.
Cain.
2-1.
There we go. He's broken the 200 kilometer.
Nadal leads by 3 games to 1.
You know what Nadal reminds me of, and you're a surfing guy, and it's big wave surfing season right now in Nazaré, Portugal. He's just one of those colossal tsunami-sized waves coming at you. He's just coming at you, set after set. And when you want a bit of a reprieve, there isn't one, Mark. It's just another 50-footer holding you down.
Yeah, the only way out is tapping out and asking for that jet ski, right?
Oh, yes.
I mean, he's been so incredibly impressive. I really hope that whatever he has, maybe just some soreness, nothing too serious, but... You know, Mannarino can just take so many positives away from what he's done here. I mean, the way he's played, this is the best I've seen him hit the ball for years. What about yourself, Roger?
Oh, 100%. I think it's the best tennis he's played over the last period of time. I did his last match, and it was so pure, and he just came out today against better, I mean, more elite opposition, delivered the same. You know, he's been one of those players that's generally stayed within the top 40 players in the world for quite a few years. He's had an interesting career.
Yeah, just confirming what you guys were suggesting. 2 of the 3 best wins he's ever had at the majors throughout the course of his career have come in the last 7 days. As far as rankings are concerned, the one against Hurkacz is #1, and the win over Karatsev, the 3rd best ranking win at a major.
Cain. Nadal.
And you might say, what's that got to do with the match? Well, it's got everything to do with the match, because Rafa respects the fact that he's privileged to be on the court and in these moments, and respects everybody, and they all sit at the dinner table with him. He's another one, just to follow up on that, my daughter was quite young. She was about 8 when she met Rafa in Monaco, and she went up, so Rafa came and said hello, and he asked her about 10 questions. Just curiosity of that. And she said to me, that was Rafa, Dad. Yeah. why did he want to know so much? Why did he ask me so many questions? And I said he's curious, and it's a great mind there, always looking.
Yeah, and it's not always about him, is it?
Let's for service.
Winner of this match will, of course, most likely be Rafa, given the way things are unfolding. He'll take on the winner of this Zverev-Shapovalov match. It's currently underway on Margaret Court Arena.
.30.
Man, did he step into that backhand.
Juice.
Look at the way he steps into this, straight down the line. What a great angle.
I mean, you can almost see the branding on the ball. There's so little spin.
Advantage Nadal. Cain, Nadal.
Well,
Nadal leads by 5 games to 1.
their styles may be as different as landing a plane is from performing a piece of classical music, but that doesn't mean that their differences have not been highly entertaining. The contrast of styles, the way they go about constructing points, it's been high-octane tennis and highly entertaining.
He's done exactly what he needs to do, right? Make it incredibly physical, which he did. Played some amazing tennis, especially when down set points in that tiebreaker, and it's taken it to another level. You know, second, third, and just unable to keep up with him. Oh. I mean, look, as beautiful as it is to see him being physical and running and hitting 30-shot rallies, just when he lets go, though, and rips it, man, is that impressive.
Yeah, it's sweet. Let's not forget about some of those subtle slices from Nadal that we saw in the opening set tiebreak. The ability to switch it up and go between that power game and then introduce the subtlety. He's no one-trick pony. Anything but.
Peace.
Guys, I'm telling you, I'm just excited at what I'm seeing with Rafa.
I think we all are, Mark. It has been a fabulous performance. Well tested. But he's come through with flying colours. 3 match points. What a way to seal the deal and make it through to the quarterfinals at the Australian Open for the 14th time in his career. That guy, man, he is as tough as a $2 steak. Nadal through in straights today, 7-6, 6-2, 6-2.